Well, yeah, just a quick note there on your philosophy on the investment. I can see your point of view. And certainly when you drill down on the word investment, if you're evaluating your house as, okay, I'm going to buy it for this and sell it for that, yeah, probably the majority of us that have bought in the last 15 or so years are probably not going to make that big windfall when we go to sell it. Because I cannot see my typical suburban house for what we bought it doubling or tripling in the next 20 years. The way it has in the prior 20 years when houses went from, I mean, literally, I think the house that I grew up in the 70s, my parents' house, I think they bought it for $30,000, which was probably a lot of money at the time. And now that house, they don't live in it anymore, but that house I think sold for about 500 or 600,000, and it's still a modest, middle of the road house, suburban house. To go from 30,000 to even $300,000, that's a huge jump. I don't see my house taking the same percentage jump, so I can understand your perspective there on the investment part of it, Paul. But what I do see my house is as, and I think you started to hit on this, Paul, is it's the place that you live, and you need to live for an extended period of time, for decades. While you're living there, you're raising your family, you're living there maybe after your kids are gone, and however else. And so it is an investment in yourself, right? Our house was built in 1950. It's 70 plus years old. And I know that if I don't take care of it, it is going to fall down around me. The bones, as they say, are good, but everything on the outside, man, is just exposed to the weather. And it's only a matter of time. If you don't maintain it, it's just going to rot away. I've done a lot of projects over the years. I've gutted and rebuilt bathrooms. I've taken down walls. I do electric, plumbing, paint, molding. Outside the house, I've cut down 50-foot trees. I've trimmed trees. I seeded the lawn for the first time in my life this year. I grew grass in a place where there wasn't anything. I was a little proud of myself. But the point is that I'll do anything. And mostly because I'm very specific when it comes to my house. I want it to look good. I want it to last. I want it to work the way I want it. And I want to get it done on my schedule. So that's a little high maintenance, but I know that that's the way I am. And so I've had to take all that stuff into my own hands. I have dozens of reminders in my computer that pop up every Saturday, right? Okay, today's the day to do this. Today's the day to do that. Whether it's maintain the dishwasher, make sure, because we had a leak in the dishwasher one year, and I figured out the only reason was because all the gunk got clogged up inside the dishwasher. So that's a regular maintenance thing that I have to do. A few years ago, we had a really nasty bee issue outside, and found out that they had made a nest up in the attic vents in the roof. So I climb up there on a regular basis, and I change the vents, and then I climb up there on a regular basis and do bug spray up there to keep them from rebuilding those nests. Trimming back bushes, making sure that, I don't have tree branches falling into my electrical wires, things like that. And I rotate these jobs every week to make sure that I'm never doing too much, because I can get carried away. I can start, I can literally wake up in the morning, over the breakfast table and say to my wife, I'm just going to do this one quick thing outside. And fast forward 9 hours later, the sun is going down and I'm still outside digging a ditch. I can just go. And so I have to make sure that I rein it in and my kids aren't playing Fortnite all day. Budget-wise, I also have a separate savings account that I draft money into regularly. It's another line item in our budget. And it's just this pile of cash. It's not huge, but it's this pile of cash over to the side for when I need to buy, things like the new water filter for the refrigerator, which, is not expensive, but it's there. And when it pops up, it can throw things off. Air conditioner filters, furnace filters, light bulbs, all that kind of rotation stuff, you name it. And I make sure that I always have a little pile of money there that I can dip into. I think back to when I was a teenager, and I read this book called Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. And Paul, we were talking about your snowblower. Let's talk about snowblower maintenance, right? It was this great book about a father and a son who took a motorcycle trip across the country. And it was all about their relationship and everything else. But one of the key takeaways was that throughout the entire book and over the entire trip, they were constantly working on maintaining their motorcycles. And the key takeaway was that if they didn't maintain the motorcycle, they were going to break down in the middle of nowhere and they were going to be screwed. And Zen, as people who have studied it will know, Zen is the act of doing something so fluidly and so regularly that you just do it without any effort at all. There's another book, Zen and the Art of Archery, where the concept is, the archer, when they get Zen-like about the act of shooting the arrow, that it becomes so fluid that they don't even realize that they're doing it. And so that's the approach that I kind of take to my home maintenance. I schedule it, I budget it, I get it done, it happens, and I actually enjoy it too, because I kind of, it's one of my things. Like I enjoy the act of putting effort and putting time into maintaining the house and making it look and feel the way I want it to.